Hello, it's Rick again. I'd like to introduce you to a new revised version of my 00 gauge track cleaning kit, which as before is suitable for HO scale as well. My previous video shows how the original one was constructed. Well, basically this is pretty much the same, so I'm not going to go through it in the entire sequence, but just to show you the alternatives. Now, the reason for the change, it's been extensively tested by lots of people, and including one very good friend who's a renowned scientist. The original version worked quite well by clicking onto the back of a wagon and being dragged along a track, which you've seen in the previous video. Now, my good friend has created a formula for determining the width here of the cleaning head and the length, and also the kind of angle rake that it should be on the track to give the optimum cleaning. The new one that I've created is this one. Now, as you can see, it's a lot shorter. That still sits on the track, but on this one, as you can see, against the other one, I've added a 3mm pocket in there, which is filled with steel balls to give added weight, therefore giving extra friction on the track, which means it cleans better. So that's the cleaning head. This one now is being discarded. So we'll move that to one side here, and we move to the wagon. Now, if you've seen the other video, you're very familiar with this wagon. It's exactly the same one, and this is where the old wagon fitment was placed. So this is the new wagon fitment. It's longer here, which means the fitting is lower down and is a right angle for the track. This fits onto here after making sure this is very smooth again, like we did before in the previous video. All I've done is I've removed the previous wagon fitment and smoothed it all down, and this will now be glued in the centre here using some super glue again. So I'll do this now. I use a medium setting super glue purely because it gives you some wiggle room when you put it on here, to make sure it's in the right place, and then you can hold it until it sets. So I'm going to put my glue on here, just lightly glue it here. Put the top on, we don't want to knock it over. And then we can place the wagon fitment onto the wagon. And as I said, you've got this little bit of wiggle room whilst the glue is setting, because it's not a straightforward, easy push and set immediately. And you can hold it in place while it's setting. Again, my fingers don't do it justice, but it holds it in place. And this then, once it is set, will allow you to put it on the track and show how it's done. And that is now set. So that is the new wagon fitment, and that's the new placement to be dragged. Now, to view that on the track, we'll bring some track over, place the wagon on the track. That's the cleaning head, and again it's a simple process again of dragging the wagon around the track, and that will clean it. Now, because of this formula and the shortening of the cleaning head It also reduces the lateral movement, so it doesn't go off the track so easily, and it cleans more track more effectively. And the same principle as before, once you've run it round the track and it gets a bit dirty, you can turn it over and give it another clean. Now again, my good friend has done some experiments of how many times you should really clean the track with this heavy one against the original one that has no weight, it's just its own gravity. And he has determined that 4 times round the track with this weighted one gives sufficient cleaning, because these pick up the dirt from the track. After any more than 4, he has suggested it might start putting the dirt back into the track. So after 4, you can turn it over and give it another 4. So that's the essence of that. And obviously in the next video we're going to show it working live on my own track in my own well, I call it a station house, where I run all my track. Now lastly, we move this off, I mentioned before you can actually paint it the livery of your choice, and just for this version I've painted the cleaning head a matte black, and I've painted the wagon fitment again a matte black finish. And with that going on the track, I think that looks much nicer than the white one. I'm just going to put that on just as a comparison for you, and just twist that round a bit so you can see the difference. And basically I use that, I keep that satin aside in, and it doesn't really look too much out of place really, whereas that looks a bit garish, but obviously you can paint that any colour that you so desire. The next video we're going to show these running around the track. One of them, this one, is going to be run around 4 times, and that one's going to be run around once, so you can see the difference in how it collects, and you can actually see the results of these in an image on the eBay, which is aligned into this video. So I'd just like to say thank you for listening.